Today we're going to be talking about cloud computing, fog computing, and the Internet of Things. My name is Mashoud Kufi, and let's just get right into it. Who remembers the definition of a computer? A computer, what's a computer? Can anyone help me with any definition of a computer?
Electronic device.
Just electronic device? Okay, I think basically what we were taught or what we learned about computer was like any electronic device that accepts data, process the data, and then produce what unexpected results, right? That's a computer. So you will all bear with me that this laptop is a computer. It takes data, you input data, it processes it, and then it sends it out. The mobile phone that you're using as a computer, it takes in data, it processes it, and then it sends it out. The CCTV cameras we have in the school, they are all computers. The traffic lights on the streets, when you were coming into campus, there was a device that you have to put your phone or your ID card to process, like maybe give you access, grant you access before you come into the building. So all these are called computers. Now, the data that is being gathered, let's say for instance, the device at the entrance of the university. When you put your phone or your ID, it records your student ID, indicating you are in the building. So in the event there's something, maybe there's a fire outbreak or something, they can find that, okay, this is the number of people in this building. So that is like, it's a computer. So now the data that is gathered by the university can decide to store the data locally, maybe in their servers at West Bender, or even in this building. I don't know where the university keeps their data. So the university is keeping the data in here, in this location. We can call it, cloud computing, where the university keeps a server or it keeps the data that they have in a centralized location. So all the data that is gathered, all the information that is gathered within the institution are kept in that centralized location for everybody or all parts or users to access such information. Now let me give you a brief history of cloud computing. In the 1960s, there was a concept of time sharing, where people, multiple users can access different services over the internet. So you can access something, there's something on the internet, you can search for it, you can also search for it. And then in the 1990s, the internet grew rapidly, and companies began to explore the ideas of providing services for a fee. So they provide a service, you access the service on the internet, and then they charge you, and they make money out of it. This led to the development of application service providers, like I mentioned. Now, softwares were provided over the internet, and people could purchase the softwares and make money out of it. And then later, Amazon developed their first cloud service called the AWS, Amazon Web Services. So now this is cloud computing. Cloud computing will provide servers at a centralized location, provide software platforms and applications, and also storage devices for companies or for corporations to store their data, huge data. It will give them also a platform for them to run their services or their systems, and also would give them a platform to manage their data and do analytics and make informed decisions based on the data that is gathered. So like I use the university for an example. They gather all the data that we have here, all the people that come in here, and they want to make any informed decision about the size of the classes. Is the size of the classes good for the students, or maybe the size of the building itself? How many students come into the university at this particular time? You want to make this informed decision. The cloud data that they gather, that is stored out there, they can do analytics on the platform, and that would inform them that, okay, the class size or the campus size is okay, or we should increase the campus size. So this particular data is stored in a centralized location, and anybody can access it. So let's take it like maybe there's, okay, when we go further, I'll give an example and then I'll explain further where the other devices can be connected to it. So on that particular server, the university connects this particular device at the entrance to it. They connect our computers, the lecturers, the professors' computers to it. CCTV cameras are also connected to that server, and all the data that is gathered is being sent to that centralized location. So basically, that is cloud computing, where data is stored at a centralized location, and the institution can access it for various services. Now, the next one is edge fog computing. Just like cloud computing, cloud is at a centralized location. but the fog computing is just below the server or below the cloud. That makes it like it brings data analytics and processing closer to the edge or closer to the computer. So let's make it like maybe you drive a Tesla. Tesla is an electronic device. It's an electronic vehicle. Now, if you're driving this Tesla and maybe it's able to predict the traffic situation in town. So let's say you are around Burnaby, you're coming to campus, and then there's traffic. Now, the fog system can detect what is happening within the system or within the neighborhood, and then send information quickly to process it quickly and send a signal to maybe your phone, or maybe if you are using Google Maps, it will inform you that there's a traffic situation in town. So you can plan your time or plan your journey very well. And doesn't have to go to a centralized location. It brings data processing closer to you and closer to the edge of the user. So that is fog computing. It's a decentralized system. Now the third one is edge computing. Edge computing, just like it's also like fog computing, but it's below the fog computing, and that is even way closer. So for instance, your smartphone, you can use it to process data itself, like it receives the data and it processes it quickly, and then it gives you, you make a decision based on that particular data. That is edge computing. It brings you, that one is just closer or even at the edge of the device. So now let's go to services cloud computing provides. I will be focusing on cloud computing. The first one has to do with infrastructure as a service. Cloud itself will give you an infrastructure as a company. If you want to build your internet, infrastructure, you can use cloud. It will provide you that particular infrastructure to build on your business or your company's IT infrastructure. The second one is a platform. Cloud would also provide you a platform where you can run your system on. The third is a software as a service. It is also a system or a service that cloud computing provides to clients. The next is a database. Like I mentioned earlier on, the university would need companies who produce like huge data. They want people to store the information for them. Let's say Walmart, people buy goods on Walmart. Let's say Amazon, people buy a lot of things on Amazon, on their website. They need to track what is happening, who is buying what, the credit card you use, the information that you get on when you buy anything online, your credit card data is stored somewhere. All this data needs to be managed by someone. So most companies will have their cloud system somewhere where this, where the data is stored. So cloud computing will give you a database as a service. Now, big data analytics. I think we all did business analytics earlier on, where you can analyze huge data. So if they gather this huge data to make informed decisions, what do? They need to analyze the data and to inform them on what to do next with their services or their systems. The next one is Internet of Things, which my colleague has already explained. I will not go into it again. So now, these are the service providers, the top service providers of cloud services or cloud internet. We also have seen AWS, Amazon Web Services. That is the first one that was even implemented in 2008. The second one has to do with Oracle Cloud. Oracle also provide their own cloud services that is available. We also have Microsoft Azure. It's also a cloud services that is also available, and people and companies can benefit from it. Now we have Google Cloud. That is also a cloud service that is available. And the last one is IBM Cloud. These are the top 5 cloud services that we have. And according to the Synergy Research Group in 2021, Amazon has the biggest, or Amazon controls the market, let me put it that way, because they own 32% of the cloud service, followed by Microsoft Azure, which owns about 20% of cloud. And then Google Cloud owns 9%, and the rest is distributed to other cloud agencies. So now the company we're going to talk about is Netflix. I think we all know Netflix. Almost everyone has seen Netflix. We've watched movies on Netflix, and we know Netflix. So Netflix started in 1997 by Reed Hastings in California. It first started as a DVD by mail service, where individuals, if you want to watch a movie, you request for the movie, and then they'll put a CD they'll send the CD to you by email. When you watch the movie and you are done, you return the CD back to Netflix, but they will charge you for that. So that was how Netflix was operating. In 2017, Netflix started streaming. 2007, sorry. I think I made a mistake with it. 2007. Netflix started streaming services. So when they started streaming, people could now like register accounts, have an access all the movies they want, search on Netflix, watch their movie, and then like do whatever they want to do on the platform. Now Netflix partnered with Amazon. When they started, the streaming services, there were lots of problems that they were having. They couldn't manage the data. They're a movie company. They vet movies and they put content on their website. So the issues of they having multiple people accessing their platform, multiple people watching at the same time, it created a lot of problems for them. So they decided to partner with Amazon. I think that was in 2008. Yes, they partnered with Amazon in 2008. And even Amazon announced that Netflix is their biggest customer in 2010. Yes, Amazon announced that Netflix was one of their biggest customers in the world. It was their biggest customer. So when they partnered with Amazon Web Services, they now gave the data service, the data management and everything to Amazon to do. Amazon Web Service to manage it. And they then also focus on their movie production and licensing of the content that they have. So before the partnership, like I said earlier on, Netflix had a lot of challenges. Even though they had a lot of people on their platforms who were watching their movies, but they had problems. They were not that happy. Yes, even though they were making money. So what were some of the problems they had? They wanted to scale their infrastructure. They had problems with like increasing the number of people. Even though people are coming in, people are subscribing, a lot of people are subscribing. But if they still need more, what's happening to their infrastructure? How can they make it robust? The second problem they had was cost and complexity of managing data centers. Now, like I said, a university might have their server room, but to some extent, the data with the university might be huge that they can't manage themselves. They are, let's say, like they are an education institution, so they want to provide service of teaching. They don't want to that hurdle of, let's say, managing data again. So Netflix wanted to like give that data, the cost involved in that, and the complexity in managing it. They wanted to give it out to a different company to manage, and that is one of the things they gave to Amazon Web Services to do. Now, delivering high quality videos. Now, like I said, a lot of people are all trying to stream at the same time. People are watching movies. What's the name? Money Heist. A lot of people were watching it. So bandwidth, like if people are watching movies at the same time, definitely have problem with the bandwidth, the connectivity issues. So they decided like, okay, how do we solve these problems? Now, adopting new technologies, devices are springing up, or we have like new devices coming up every year. People are telephone companies are coming out with devices. In September, Apple will introduce a new device. Samsung open a new device. So there were new devices that were coming up that Netflix was not running on them, most of those platforms. So they had a challenge with that, and then they wanted to like get a system that would give them a seamless set. Now, after the partnership with Amazon Web Services, what happened? Netflix was now relieved of all the troubles that we mentioned earlier on. And then we realized that Netflix could scale. Netflix then moved from the US, and it's now almost all over the world. They can now increase the content that they have on their platforms, movies, TV shows, documentaries, name it. Netflix was able to increase their scalability. Now, flexibility too. The service provided, or the partnership with Amazon provided flexibility for the company. And it also saved them huge cost, because the issues of managing data and all this stuff, they just give the data management to someone else, and they are free focusing on their movies. Improve performance. Outsourcing that service of data management to a different person, help them improve their own performance on the movie licensing, like I mentioned, the content they are providing for their viewers. Innovation. Today, Netflix is in over 190 countries globally. From a US company or a US or a streaming by mail service that was just within the US, where they were sending DVDs to people by the email. Today, almost 190 countries have access to Netflix, and they have about 230 billion subscribers as of 2022. And I think this figure was even increased due to COVID because a lot of people were in their houses, like we were all hosting during lockdowns, and people were subscribing. So today, as we speak now, as of 2022, Netflix has 230 million subscribers. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you too.